The Muslim, he keeps people around them that can benefit him and that are righteous and that he feels are even better than him, so he can learn from them and they can influence him positively. Now, this is very important, and especially for the shabab and the youth, because you are being molded into the person that you're going to be. You're being molded into the person you're going to be when you get older. How many people have been on the straight track, got with wrong companionship, and they went astray? How many people? And how many people were on the bad path, and they got with good people, and that set them aright, right? And that set them in the right way, right? So, this is what we want to speak about today, this suhbah, and how it's imperative for us at all times to make sure that we make our circle righteous, God-fearing, beneficial, serious people in their deen, in their dunya, in their worldly life. God-fearing people who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People who make their 5 salawat. People who come to the masjid. People who obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the halal. And they stay away from the haram. Right? People who love the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and his sunnah. Right? People who want to follow the companions of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and not follow kuffar. Or not follow rappers. And not follow gangsters. Or drug dealers. Right? Or athletes who have no benefit to you except that they can run and jump high. Right? Now, the Prophet ﷺ, he has told us, my brothers and sisters, or there's a saying of the Arab. Before we get into the speech of the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, there's a saying of the Arab, in which goes, As-sahibu sahib. As-sahibu sahib, which means the companion is constantly what? Pulling you. As-sahibu sahib. The companion is constantly pulling you. Our companions and the people that we keep around us, this means our companions and the people we keep around us is constantly influencing us. The people that are around us, and I want, when I speak about this and I mention this topic, I want us to think about who our circle is. I want you to think about your circle. I want you to think about the people you keep around you, the people you hang out with, the people you cool with. Right? I want you to think about that. Who are these people? Because the Prophet ﷺ said, As-sahibu sahib. That your companion is pulling you in their direction, meaning they're influencing you. If they are good, if they are righteous, then in good and a righteous way. If they are fusaq, if they are sinners, if they are disbelievers, if they are not bad mannered, they are pulling you in that direction, right? They are pulling you in that direction. There's no way around it. You can't think and say, oh, I'm going to be the righteous one amongst demons. I'll be the righteous one amongst sinners. I'll be the angel amongst demons, or angel amongst devils. That's what somebody says sometimes. No, you can't do that. It doesn't work like that. You think that you're going to be around there, you're going to keep doing the right thing. No, they're going to keep rubbing off on you. Right? And the person who is truly righteous, he will not be able to be patient with the people who are not righteous. You understand? If you're truly righteous, you have a soul that is righteous. You have a nafs that is good, a good soul. You cannot feel comfortable with those who are in disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a long time. If you get around people who are using bad language and their understanding is bad and they're not making the salah and they're doing all the wrong things and all the disobedience, you don't feel comfortable around them if you really are a righteous person. And the same goes for the fasiq, the person who's a sinner and a disobedient individual. They do not feel comfortable around the righteous as well. Okay? Now, another saying of the Arab is At-tab'u sarraq. At-tab'u sarraq is that people's characteristics are constantly stealing from one another. People's characteristics and their dispositions, the way they carry themselves, their character, the way they are, the way we are, is constantly stealing from other people. Why would it say stealing? Right? Why would it say stealing for? Why? Who can answer me there? Why would the saying say the characteristics are constantly stealing from one another? People's characters, huh?
Without knowing, you are not going to adopt that way.
Exactly. Just like our brother said, what's your name, Sheikh? Muhammad. Just like Sheikh Muhammad, he said, because we are adopting their ways and we don't even know it. Our character is taken from their character and we don't even realize it, to the point you find yourself start to use words from them. You never used these words before. You'll find yourself start to think like them. You'll find yourself start to eat the food like them. You'll find yourself start dressing like them. Right? You want to look just like them. Start acting just like them. Right? That's why it's imperative that we be with the righteous, so they can benefit us. Because that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us. The people we are around, the people that we sit with, they affect us positively or negatively. Our characteristics are stealing from other people. Wallahi tallahi billahi. Wallahi tallahi billahi. So don't think, as I mentioned before, don't think you're going to be the angel amongst demons. Don't think you're going to be the righteous ones amongst irreligious people. You understand? And this speech right here, it coincides, right? Because, and I say this too, because sometimes you find, mashallah, we have the brothers and sisters, they come to the masjid, right? They have the duksi, they call it duksi, right? The Quran class, right? You have the duksi, you grow up, right? In the masjid with them, with your brothers and your sisters, good deen, mashallah, good families. But then you go to the school, you have different companions. You have different companionship. The girl, she has different friends in the school. The boy, he has different friends in the school. And you see, this is where the inhiraf, which is the going astray, starts. You start getting with the wrong people. You start getting with the wrong crowd. How many stories? And I've been hearing stories also from communities just like this. Brothers growing up in the masjid, sisters growing up in the masjid, growing up in Quran class in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, years reading the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then they get older and all of a sudden you see them drift, getting into drugs. Kayf hada? How you get into drugs? Getting into alcohol, getting into gangs. Stop, leave the masjid. Stop coming to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we hear Muhammad is in jail, locked up. Or Muhammad killed somebody. Or Fatima got pregnant. Waliyadu billah. How this happen? You're getting with the wrong people. You're getting with the wrong people. And they influence you. Don't think it can't happen to you. It can happen to you if you're not careful. Right? Getting with the wrong people and they negatively influence you. And then you fall into some things that harm you for the rest of your life. And some people never make it back. Some people, they come back, but some people, they never make it back. And this speech, it coincides with the speech of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which he said, Al-Mar'u, famous hadith, and all of us should know this. And I mentioned it yesterday. Al-Mar'u ala dini khalilihi, falyandur ahadukum an yukhalil. The individual will be upon the way of life, male or female, will be upon the way of life, will have the same thinking, will have the same deen. The Prophet ﷺ said the deen. They will be upon the deen, the way of life, the thinking, the acting, the aqidah, the belief system, the morals. The person will be upon the same way of life of their close companion. So let every one of you pay close attention whom they take as a close companion. So when you hear this hadith of the Messenger of Allah, you ask yourself right now, who are your companions? Who are your close companions? Who are the people you hang out with? And not only the people you keep around you, who are the people you watch on your cell phone? Who are the people you follow on Instagram? Who are the people you follow on your Facebook or you watch on YouTube? Because that's also your companionship as well. You understand? That's also your companionship. Today, in this day and age, with the smartphones and social media, the people you follow and the people you listen to, that's also your companions as well. So you think about right now, what is your circle or who are the people you follow? Because that's who you are. Don't tell me about who Muhammad is. Don't tell me who Abdurrahman is. Don't tell me who Aisha is. I don't need to hear about who she is or who he is. All I need to hear is who are their companions. Who do they follow? Then I will know exactly who that person is. It's that simple. Now, it's that simple. Right? Another hadith to show the importance of good companionship and bad companionship. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, مثل الجليس الصالح والسوء كحامل المسك ونافخ الكير. He said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the example of the good companion and the bad companion is like the example of the one who sells sweet smelling scents. Yani misk. He sells sweet smelling oils. That is the good companion. And the example of the bad companion is the ironsmith, nafikul kir, the blacksmith. Right? The one who is the good companion, the Prophet draws an example here. And then he speaks about each of the two. He draws the example of the good companion. He says, this is the oil seller. This is the one who sells sweet smelling musk. And the bad companion is the what? The ironsmith or the blacksmith. طيب? Then he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, as far as the one who sells sweet smelling oils, imma an yuhdiyak. Three things will happen. And this is the who? This is the bad companion or the good companion? Who is it? The good companion. Huh? Who said bad? Huh? The good companion. Huh? He said three things will happen to you. He said, إِمَّا أَن يُحْذِيَكَ وَإِمَّا أَن تُبْتَعَ مِنْهُ وَإِمَّا أَن تَجِدَ مِنْهُ رِيحًا طَيِّبًا. Three things will happen from the good companion. He said either he will give you something free. You ever see the guy selling oils? He's standing outside the masjid, he comes by and say, hey, As-Salaam alaikum. And he goes and he says, try this. And he gives you a nice smelling scent, right? You put it on you for the rest of the day, what? You're smelling good, right? It was for free, right? The Prophet ﷺ said, إِمَّا أَن يُحْدِيَكَ. One of the things that will happen from the good companion is, you come by him, you get a free, nice smell for the rest of the day. What is the meaning of this? What is this example? That the good companion, you come by them for even a short period of time, 1 minute, 2 minutes, you're just passing, you're going to get a benefit for that day, right? There's some people, they are righteous. When you see them, they remind you of who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is that not right? There's some people, they're righteous, they have nur in their face, they're good people. You see them, you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see them, you're shy to do haram. You're shy to do the haram. You're shy to do things that you're not proud about. You're shy to do it in front of them, right? Just mujarrid, just looking at them or just seeing them, you get a benefit from these type of people, right? Or they may give you a smile in your face, right? Or they may give you a good word, kalima tayyiba, right? Give you a good word. Make you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make you remember something that you forgot, right? Raise you in iman. There's some people, you see them, they raise you in iman, right? That's a good companion. For free. You see them 1-2 minutes and you get a benefit for the rest of the day. He said number 2, وَإِمَّا أَن تُبْتَعَ مِنْهُ. Or you will purchase something from him, right? And purchasing something from him here, meaning you will get from that individual a long-term benefit. You have a friend, you have a companion, you sit with them, you spend time with them, they teach you something, you learn something from them that benefits you for the rest of your life. Whether it be they encourage you to memorize the Quran, or they make you get with them, they make you start to live your life correctly, they make you take learning serious, they make you take the salah serious. There was one brother I know in Brooklyn, New York. He got with a group of brothers, right? And this man was 30 years old and he was born a Muslim. He was 30 years old and he was born a Muslim. He was with some brothers. One day he needed to sleep over their house. He didn't have nowhere to stay that night. He got with these brothers, and it was a winter day and it was snowy, nowhere to go. So he ended up staying with them for the rest of the day. This brother, right, every time the salah came in, they made the salah jama'ah in the house. He said, after that day, he said, brothers, you guys don't know, I've been Muslim my whole life. I never made all 5 prayers until I made with you. SubhanAllah al-Azim. And since I came with you guys from that day and I made all 5 prayers, I never stopped making my all 5 prayers. Allahu Akbar. Right? وَإِمَّا أَن تُبْتَعَ مِنْهُ. Maybe you'll get something from him that will be a long-term benefit. When you buy oil from somebody, we have some oil that stay with us for a year, 2 years, 3 years, right? Long-term benefit. Now, right? That's the good companion. They will rub off on you in a good way. So you look for the good person. You look for the righteous person. You look for the person you feel is even better than you. Don't be with the people who you feel are less than you, right? Be with the people you feel are even better than you, so they can rub off on you positively in all aspects of life. Right? When you're working out, who should you work out? Where's the workout guys? Any workout guys here? Huh? Who, you work out? Who's the workout guy? Huh? You work out with the guys who can't work out, or you work out with the guys who can work out? Huh? Who do you work out with? You work out with the guys who are strong and they know what they're doing, right? What's it going to do to you? It's going to push you, right? It's going to make you work harder. It's going to make you do much better and go to lengths you'll never be able to do by yourself, correct? Now, and you get a long-term benefit. And lastly, وَإِمَّا أَن تَجِدَ مِنْهُ رِيحًا طَيِّبًا. The least that you get from the good companion is you smell from them a sweet smell. Meaning you get no harm from them. Alhamdulillah. They didn't give me nothing. I didn't benefit from them in no way. But the least that I got from this good companion is that I got a sweet smell. Meaning I got no harm from them. You understand? But as far as the bad companion, the Prophet ﷺ said 2 things will happen from this individual. إما أن يحرك ثيابك إما أن يحرك ثيابك وإما أن تجد منه ريحا خبيثا. 2 things will happen from the bad companion. He said either he will burn you, right? He will burn your clothing, or you will smell from a wicked stench. You'll get no benefit from that individual. The bad companion is not going to benefit you. And look at the first thing the Prophet ﷺ said, he's going to burn your clothing. He'll burn you. And what do we know about burns, right? When you get burnt, you might die, right? If you get burnt, you might die. Fire is of the most severe things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. If you get burnt, you might die. But if you get burnt for sure, what's going to happen to your skin? What's going to happen? Even if you don't die? Scars. You understand the point here? You'll be scarred. Now, some people we get around, they leave us with scars. From what they have taught us and what we have learned from them and what we have adapted from them, we leave scarred up. Right? Whether they taught us drug abuse, whether they raised our desires and made us fall into zina, waliyadu billah, now, or put us on to start listening on to some type of corruption that corrupted our aqeedah and corrupted our belief system. That's also a big fitna as well. Right? Somebody say, listen to this guy. This guy leads you astray. Now, and now your aqeedah and your belief is messed up. Or your body is messed up because they introduce you to drugs. Or your mind is messed up because they introduce you to wrong understandings. Or your heart is messed up because they got you watching these illicit videos. Whatever it may be. You understand what I'm saying? You get around a bad companion and they will mess you up and give you scars, even if you recover from it. I want to give a few stories, real stories, to let us know the harm of bad companionship. When I was in my first year of college, some time ago, and I was playing basketball, right? I didn't get on the court with you guys, but inshallah next time when my aim get a little bit better, I'm going to show you guys what time it is, inshallah, okay? So anyway, this guy comes, he's a power forward. He's about 6'4", 6'5", right? Strong, athletic, dunked the ball, mashallah. He got a good jump shot. He's looking to be one of the leaders of the team and one of the top players of the team, right? And he's doing well all preseason and he's doing well in the beginning of the season. He gets with a crew of some guys that all they do, and they're on the team as well, all they do is smoke weed. That's all they do. From morning to night. All they're doing is getting high. I'm telling you, I see this with my own eyes. That's all these guys do. All they're doing is getting high. He gets with them, right? And he didn't smoke before, right? So you guys and whoever, maybe somebody might tempt you, right? And you never did it before. You don't know what it's going to do to you, right? Look what happened to this guy. He smokes with them, right? And he ends up becoming addicted immediately. I've never seen somebody, get addicted that fast and make their whole life just about getting high. He went down so fast in his basketball game, he ended up stopped coming to practice, started playing bad. He failed all his classes. How you fail all your classes? He ended up not even caring about school. Nothing mattered to him anymore. The most important thing to him was the weed, just to get high. Most important thing to him in his life. And there's some people like that. Wallahi tallahi billahi. No matter what is going on, all they want to do is go get high. If they got to go do something, before they go do it, they got to get high. Right? What's controlling their life? That weed is controlling their life now. This is what happened to this young man. He's only 18 years old. Right? He fails out of school. He gets kicked off the basketball team. It's so bad, he's selling his belongings. This is when they had the PlayStation. I don't even know what PlayStation it was. He sells his PlayStation just to get money to support his bad habit of getting high. This is an addict, 18 years old, and he gets shipped back home. Right? That could have been a means of him to get a scholarship, to go get a degree, to come back and help his mother, help his father, help his family, get a good job, something like this. What did it all finish with? Got with these guys, all they did was get high, and look, those guys still stayed in the school, and he was the one that got kicked out and left. Right? They've been doing this for a long time. This is their life. They've been doing it for a long time. He's new to it, right? He couldn't control it. It was too much for him. And the same thing may happen to you. So never try to try these things. You don't know how you're going to react to it, right? It may take over your life. Don't matter if somebody gives you a cigarette, somebody gives you the e-cigarette, they got the new electronic cigarette. Don't do none of this stuff. That's the gateway to the weed. That's the gateway to it. That's the first step. It's not cool. I don't care how cool the people think it is. I don't care how nice they make it look. This is haram and it's going to harm you. No benefit in it. No benefit in it. And then one thing leads to the other. How do you think? I've been grinding around Kansas City. I see a lot of drug addicts on the street. You think they was always like that? That guy on the street with his back all the way bent, humped like this. You think he was like that his whole life? He might have been the star basketball player and the coolest guy in high school. Huh? He might have been the coolest guy in high school. He might have been the one everybody wanted to be. But he was a cool guy, and then he got with this drug, and he got with that drug, and he was doing this, and he was doing that, and his life was over because of that. And now you see him on the block, and you just say, oh, look at this bum. He might have been the coolest guy. Everybody wanted to be like him one time. You don't know. All right? So this is what happened to this young man. Right? Another story. There was a sister, she called a sheikh. She was asking the sheikh, she said, "Ya sheikh, yani, I'm not praying anymore. Waliyadu billah." And we know salah is the greatest of ibadah. And it's the first thing we'll be asked about the Yawm al-Qiyamah. And it is the difference between us and disbelievers. Right? And some of us don't play around in the salah. Some of you too old to be playing around in the salah. Right? Some of you too old for that. Wallahi tallahi billahi. 15, 16 teenagers, you grown men. Grown men, grown women. Don't play around with the salah. Anyway, this girl, she called the sheikh. She says, "Ya sheikh." When she messaged the sheikh, she said, "I used to be mutadayyina." You know what that means? I used to be religious. I used to read the Quran. I used to wear the hijab. I used to make the salah. I used to come to the masjid. All of that. She said, "I got with some companions." Remember we spoke about people trying to be the angel amongst demons? The angel amongst devils? Right? These are my people, I grew up with them. Right? They're not going to do nothing. They're not going to negative. We play ball together, man. These are my guys. Right? Oh, you think that? She says she got with these girls, this group of women, this group of girls, they were her friends. Right? And they didn't used to make salah. In the beginning, when the time for salah would come, she would stop and she would pray. Right? But after a while of all of her companions not praying, she's the only one, she starts to miss prayers. So she's praying one salah, missing the next one, or she goes home and makes the salah up, and then it gets less, and it gets less, until she says, what happened? She's not making salah anymore. She's not making salah anymore. وَلِيَادُ بِاللَّهِ. Prophet ﷺ said, الْعَهْدُ الَّذِي بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَهُمَ الصَّلَاةِ فَمَنْ تَرَكَهَا فَقَدْ كَفَرَ. The difference between us and the disbelievers is the salah. The difference between us and the disbelievers is salah. Whoever has left it, he has committed an act of disbelief. The ulama put the person of the salah between two things. Imma kafir, either a kafir or a fasiq or a sinner. Which one do you want to be? Right? Neither, right? So she leaves the salah. Then after that, she says she used to wear the hijab, mashallah, tabarakallah. She gets around these girls who are watching these women on Instagram who are teaching the women how to tie their khimar like a turban. Right? And put their hair in knots up and so on and so forth. And dress like the disbelieving women mixed with the hijab. You know? The modern wear mixed with the khimar and the hijab. They're trying to mix the two. Right? They're trying to mix the two. Right? Put the khimar, put the hijab, and it's as tight as a white beater. Right? It's as tight as a Under Armour. Put the, you know the Under Armour? You know Under Armour, right? The hijab is as tight as an Under Armour. That's not the purpose of the hijab. The hijab is so you don't show your figure. And so you don't show your figure. These women are trying to show our women, yeah, you're wearing the hijab. That's how it starts. Put something as tight as this. That's not hijab. That's not called hijab. You understand? Making our woman try to be like the disbelieving woman. Right? She's with girls like this, who's watching these women, who are corrupting our sisters. Right? Then all of a sudden hijab gets less, and it gets less, and it gets less until she takes off the hijab altogether. SubhanAllah. Right? Now she's nadima. Now she's regretful. She's in the sheikh, what should I do? How can I get back? I used to be this, I used to be that. And then all of this, he asks, what's the purpose? What's the reason? What happened? She says, I got with these group of girls. Huh? So it's better to avoid than have to disattach. Look at this. Take this principle. It's better to avoid people than have to disassociate with them later. If you just avoided bad people from the beginning, you would never have to disassociate from them. But if you were to bring them in and then you make this relationship and then we're all friends and all this, and then you see how bad they are for the reality, and then you have to disassociate yourself from them, it's much more difficult to do that. Much more difficult. So from the beginning, you see someone, you watch them good, you watch how they carry themselves, you watch their deen, you watch their ibadah, you watch how they speak, you watch their whereabouts, you see who they listen to, and then you bring them in. If not, you keep them away from you, right? Because that's your deen, right? And you're going to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by yourself. Na'am, and nobody's going to be there for you. يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه. The day the man will run from his wife and run away from his children and run from his father and run from his mother and run from his own brother. That day everyone will be for their own self. Nobody's going to care about you. Nobody's going to care about me. Right? Only thing that's going to save us are these. So why are we letting people mess up our akhirah? And for saying this is friendship. You understand? That's not real friendship. Those are enemies. Those people who are leading us in the wrong direction, that's not real friendship. That's enemies in reality. You understand, my own brothers and sisters? That's truly enemies if we look at the big picture. Now, in Yawm al-Qiyamah, Yawm al-Qiyamah we will understand this. Surah Al-Furqan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, يَوْمَ يَعَدُّ الظَّالِمُ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِ اتَّخَذْتُ مَعَ الرَّسُولِ سَبِيلًا يَا وَيْلَتَى لَيْتَنِي لَمْ أَتَّخِذْ فُلَانًا خَلِيلًا لَقَدْ أَضَلَّنِي عَنِ الذِّكْرِ بَعْدَ إِذْ جَاءَنِي وَكَانَ الشَّيْطَانُ لِلْإِنسَانِ خَذُولًا. Look at this ayah. Allahu Akbar. Allah says, the day that the wrongdoer will bite down on his hand and he will say, woe to me. He will be so regretful. Woe to me. I wish I would have never took anyone as a path other than the path of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Right? This is a reminder. Make sure you follow the sunnah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and not following an actor or actress or a rapper, female rapper or athlete or something like this. You follow in the path of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He then says after that, Ya later, he says, woe to me. I wish I never would have took Fulan as a close friend. I wish I never would have took so-and-so as a close friend. I wish I never took him as a close friend. I wish I never took her as a close friend. Why? Look what Allah says here. That this wrongdoer will say, this regretful wrongdoer will say, لَقَدْ أَضَلَّنِي عَنِ الذِّكْرِ بَعْدَ إِذْ جَاءَنِي. This bad friend has led me astray from the straight path. They have led me astray from the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after it already came to me. You understand? You were on the straight path. You were on the right path. You were on the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This bad friend comes in and takes you off. You understand? And that day you will be regretful. And let me tell you something, number two. Those friends who lead you astray, or those people you follow that lead you astray, whoever it may be, right? And my brothers and sisters, stop listening to these rap artists. I don't care if they say they're Muslim. I don't care. Right? I don't care if they say they're Muslim. Because a Muslim has actions. Right? There's a way you show you're Muslim. Right? You could be a Muslim, Allah is the judge. But what are you putting off to the society? Corruption? If you're putting corruption in society, then we stay away from what you're putting off in the society. We know it's not a hujjah. Some people say oh, he's Muslim so I can listen to him. What is he saying? Guns, cars, yani killing, yani drugs, intercourse, fornication, huh? And the proof that you say for me to listen to these individuals because they're Muslim. When was that a dalil? When was that a proof? That was never a proof, right? Stop listening to these people. Look, and these people who are following, listen to this. The day of judgment, when they see the reality on how difficult the day of judgment is going to be, and they see the punishment, they are going to run away from you, and they're going to free themselves from you. Those people you love, and you make so big, and you keep mentioning their name, they don't care nothing about you. They don't care nothing about you. And at the day of judgment, they're going to leave you. I give you the dalil, proof from the Quran. Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah, إِذْ تَبَرَّأَ الَّذِينَ اتُّبِعُوا مِنَ الَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوا وَرَأَوُا الْعَذَابَ وَتَقَطَّعَتْ بِهِمُ الْأَسْبَابِ. The day that those who were followed, meaning those bad friends or those bad companions or those leaders who were followed, right? That day they will free themselves from the people who used to follow them. You understand? They will free themselves from those people who used to follow them when they see the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will say, get away from me, I want nothing to do with you. He said, we were with you in the dunya. We used to be with you. I don't care nothing about what you were doing in the dunya. They want nothing to do with you. And then look what the people who used to follow them would say. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوا لَوْ أَنَّ لَنَا كَرَّةً فَنَتَبَرَّأُ مِنْهُمْ كَمَا تَبَرَّأُوا مِنَّا. Allah says that those people who followed them, they will see after these people freed themselves from them, they will say, only if we had a chance, listen, only if we had a chance to go back to the dunya, only if we had a chance to go back to the worldly life, we would free ourselves from them, just like they freed themselves and removed themselves from us. You understand this? So those people you following, and those people that you look in amazement, and they're following, and they're taking you to the wrong direction, which is destruction and hellfire, right? That day they will leave you and they say, get away from me. And then you will say, if we had a chance to go back to the dunya, this worldly life, I will free myself from them just like they free themselves from us. كَذَلِكَ يُرِيهُمُ اللَّهُ أَعْمَالُهُمْ حَسَرَاتٍ عَلَيْهِمْ. And just like that, Allah will show the people their deeds and they will be regretful upon it. وَمَا هُمْ بِخَارِجِينَ مِنَ النَّارِ. And those people will never live out the hellfire. No matter how much they complain, no matter how much they plead their case. You understand this point, my brothers and sisters? So, if we are going to free ourselves from these people later, right? Or wish we could free ourselves from these people later. Why don't you just free yourself from them now? Meaning keep the people around you righteous. Keep your companions righteous and keep the people you're following righteous. Keep the people if you're following somebody online, make sure they're putting positivity out. Not showing you how to earn the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not encouraging you to earn the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You guys understand? Now, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu taqullaha wa qulu ma'a sadiqeen. Oh, you believe, fear Allah and be with the truthful people. Be with the people who are truthful. Be with the people who are righteous. Be with the people who are God-fearing. Now, aywa. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, in authentic hadith, لا تصاحب إلا مؤمن ولا يأكل طعامك إلا تقي. He said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, do not make a companion with anyone except they are a believer. Don't make a companion with anybody except they're a believer. What does this mean? Does it mean we hate the disbelievers? No, it doesn't mean that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم إن الله يحب المقسطين. Allah does not prohibit you from being kind and just to those people who are disbelievers who don't fight you and push you out of your homes. Allah does not prohibit you from being nice and kind to them. Allah loves those who are kind and just. You understand? What we're saying here is your companionship. The people you keep around you. You have to make them believers. Let's give ourselves an example. We're going in the street or we're on the basketball court and it's time for Salah. Your friends are not believers. They're all disbelievers. Right? They can be nice people outwardly. Right? Outwardly nice. Right? Because really what we're really concerned about, number one is belief. Right? We're really concerned about belief. That's the number one thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to judge us on. Our belief. La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, and everything that comes with that, right? If the time for Salah comes, and you're playing with your boys, right, on the basketball court, and they're not believers, do you think now they're going to say, hey Muhammad, Abdurrahman, you got to go make wudu, let's stop the basketball game, come on, let's go, you got to make Salah. You think that's going to happen? Huh? You think they're going to tell you, listen, it's time for Asr. Go make Salah, bro. What's wrong with you? It's not going to happen. They're going to say, if you even bring it up, man, we're playing a game, man. What's wrong with you, bro? You on that religious stuff, bro, man. You know, save it till later. That's what they're going to tell you. And then that's what you're going to do, right? Or when a nice woman comes by and she walks by, right? And you know you're supposed to be low on your gaze. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ. Say the believers lower their gaze, right? A nice, beautiful woman walks by, right? And she comes. Are they going to say, اتق الله يا أخي, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, غض بصرك, lower your gaze? No, they're going to be like, oh, look at that. Right or wrong? Right? And after that, they're going to say, oh, you go try to talk to her, man. They're going to egg you on to go talk to the girl. Because they don't have these same principles. They don't have the same belief. They don't follow the same commandments, no prohibitions. Right? So that's why the Prophet ﷺ said, لا تصحب إلا مؤمن. Do not make as a companion, do not take as a companion except a believer. It's Ramadan. It's hot outside. Right? And you're thirsty. And you want to get something to drink. It's like, akhi, isbah, be patient. The Maghrib is coming soon, inshallah. Be patient. No, he's not going to say it. He said, you can take a sip. Right? So this is why the Prophet said, La tusahib, don't make your companion except a believer. As far as non-Muslim, you can be nice with them, you can be cordial with them, you can be respectful with them. But your companions, your close companions, make sure that they're believers so they can aid you and you can aid them. And also the Prophet said after that, وَلَا يَأْكُلْ طَعَامَكْ إِلَّا تَقِي. And do not let anybody eat your food except they're a God-fearing person. Does this mean that we're not allowed to let people eat our food or feed the food to others? Is that what that means? That's not what that means. No. What does that mean? لا يأكل طعامك إلا تقي. Don't let anyone eat your food unless they're God-fearing. Let's see how we're the fuqaha, huh? Right.
Don't bring them close.
Allahu Akbar. Umar, mashallah, tabarakallah. Umar, right? Smart guy. Mashallah, he can play ball too. But don't play in flip-flops no more, alright? What the Prophet is saying here is, no one eats your food except a God-fearing person. Is who are the people that you usually eat with? People who are what? Very close to you. Very close to you. So he's saying, don't make anyone a very close companion, even on top of believer, except they're what? God-fearing. They reach the level of taqwa. They have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because they're going to rub off on you. You understand? This is the irshad, or the direction the Prophet ﷺ has gave the ummah. Right? In the time of the Prophet ﷺ, I'm going to finish here with this ayah. In the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the Quraysh came to the Prophet ﷺ and they were going to speak to the Prophet. The Prophet ﷺ was excited about that. He wanted to talk to them. He wanted to give them da'wah. He was hoping that possibly they would accept La ilaha illallah. But they told him, they had a condition before they sat with the Prophet ﷺ. They said, listen, those people, Yani Suhaib al-Rumi, Bilal al-Habashi, people like that, he said, listen, they said, get them away. We don't want to sit with them. You understand? Get them away. We don't want to sit with them. Why? Because they were not high quality, not high status, excuse me. They were not high status. They didn't have big tribes, right? They weren't rich. They didn't have a lot of people behind them. So they said to the Prophet ﷺ, listen, we'll sit with you and talk with you, but those people, get them away. You understand? So it is said in the tafsir, possibly the Prophet ﷺ began to think about possibly telling them to go away for the sake of the hidayah or the guidance of these leaders of Quraysh. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sends down Quran. In Surah Al-Kahf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُم بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ ولا تعد عيناك عنهم تريد زينة الحياة الدنيا ولا تطع من أغفلنا قلبه عن ذكرنا واتبع هواه وكان أمره فرطا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replies back and says, be patient. Tells the Prophet ﷺ, be patient with those people who are calling out on their Lord day in and day out with sincerity. Be with those people. Doesn't matter if they're rich, doesn't matter if they're poor, doesn't matter if they have big status, big tribe. Those are the good people with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Muhammad. Never leave them. And Allah says, وَلَا تَعْدُ عَيْنَاكَ عَنْهُمْ. Don't even take your eyes off them. Meaning never leave them wanting the glitter and the glamour of the worldly life. Some people, they get fitna. They fall into fitna with this dunya, and they want everything to be nice, and they want everything to be sweet, and they want to fit in with everybody. They don't want to feel strange, so they leave the believers, and they want to fit in with the disbelievers. Because they don't want people to look at them strange. They want to come in the room and be accepted by everybody. La, al-Islam gharib. Islam is strange. Islam bada gharib. Islam began strange. وَسَيَعُودُ كَمَا بَدَى. And it will return back just how it started, strange. So give good news to the strangers. You don't have to fit in with everybody. You stand out if you're a believer. And there's nothing wrong with standing out if you're standing out for being good. You understand that? There's nothing wrong for standing out if you're standing out for being good. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the Prophet, don't even take your eyes off them, wanting the glitz and the glamour of the worldly life. And never obey, وَلَا تُطِعْ. Never obey, مَنْ أَغْفَلْنَا قَلْبُ عَنْ ذِكْرِنَا. The one who have made his heart unmindful and astray from our remembrance, and he follows his desires. Don't follow these people. Understand? No matter what they have, no matter how much followers they have, no matter how many subscribers they have, don't follow them. Those people who are unmindful of Allah's dhikr, Allah's remembrance. وَاتَّبَعْ هَوَىٰ. And they follow their desires. وَكَانَ أَمْرُهُ فُرُطًا. And his affair is destruction. His affair is destruction. Now, in short, my brothers and sisters, we have to make sure we have good companionship around us. Right? Make sure the people around you are righteous. And when you're looking for a friend and companion, make sure they are righteous. And you want to get people around you that you feel are even better than you. You understand? And when you go out to the school, when you go out to the workplace, the same thing. Don't be the one who's in the masjid with the Muslims, right? You're on your deen in the masjid, you go out, you're a different person. Wallahi, I remember my brother, subhanAllah al-Azim, I saw him in college, right? We used to see him in the masjid, everything is all fine, mashallah, tabarakallah. I see him in the school, I said, Salaamu Alaikum, he didn't return the salam. Yes, salam. I see him in the school, he didn't return the salam to me, because he had his friends that wasn't Muslim, he was shy to return the salam. Where's your izzah? Where's your honor? Right? Don't be that type of individual. Be with the believers, be firm upon your deen no matter where you're at, inshallah. And have good companionship. Subhanallah bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala